Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Man United Agenda for the reaction show for Manchester United beating Everton 2-1. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, guys? So before we get started tonight, I'd like to give props to our sponsor, GMS, Global Mapping Surveys. We are now sponsored by Global Mapping Surveys. Currently assist architects, property developers and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning, monitoring the link. The link is in the description for the website and the contact details below. So how are you all keeping, guys?
Yeah, I just feel like it's just happened all so soon. It's been an eventful night, man. And Mr. B was sitting right next to me. Now he's back at his headquarters with his headphones on, and we're ready to roll. Yes.
It was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was great having the three of us together in the one room, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally. Mr. B, how you feeling, bro?
You're still on mute, buddy.
I'm good, man. I haven't seen you guys in ages.
Where have I seen this guy before?
I know. How you feeling, bro?
No, I'm good, man. I'm just glad to see us in fifth. That's the position that I wanted to see us in. So yeah, I'm glad we won. Normally, when Everton win at home, 8 out of the 15 they won. So we bucked that trend a bit. Mistake that we made in the game, but yeah, overall, yeah, I'm feeling good today, man. It's good to be linking up with you guys as well, man. We need to do these things a little bit more often, but yeah, absolutely
Mr. B,
delighted.
how did it feel for the drive back to the house after getting another victory and into the fifth place position?
All 4 minutes of it was absolutely fantastic.
Windows down, radio up.
Yeah,
everybody
man.
here's coming.
Yeah, it's been a good Sunday. It's been a good Sunday, man. That's made my Sunday, man. That's made my week. Well done, United.
Yeah, me too. So where are we gonna start?
Well, with the result, I imagine.
Yeah, I think the results are good to start with. If anybody had asked me before the game what kind of result would I liked, I would have probably said a 2-0 win. I think we might have even said it during the week. But we said with the kind of team that Everton are and being a tricky game at Goodison Park, 2-1, I think is a respectable result coming away playing Everton. What do you think, Omondi?
Yeah, I mean, going into the game, Everton were known for not conceding many goals, having a good defence. Something I didn't realise that they had. The stats were sort of interesting, and it's an interesting read. So we expected them to set up with a low block and invite us to breaking them down, which we did. But unfortunately, yeah, we had a bad start to the game. I had a thing from Bill Badger there saying that's probably why we responded to them and turned up the heat. And it's like there's a lot of feeling now that we only play to level our opposition. I mean, beating that Cypriot team 3-2, for example, really maybe we should be wiping them off the floor, you know, and beating them by 4-5-0. That's what ideally I'd like to see. But maybe we're just doing enough to win games. And today was another example of that, with a 2-1 result against Everton, who overall, when I reflect on it now, I don't think Everton are a very good side. They work hard, and I think they can get some results against lower teams, but I think we're a class above them, and we proved that today by having control of the football, controlling the game. And for me, it was never in doubt. It's just a mistake that for their goal, and apart from that, we were sort of almost dominant. We just need more goals.
Mr. B, we're not wiping the floor with Omondi yet, and well, we didn't not wipe the floor with Everton today. We did beat them and we bet them. But do you think we're kind of still a little bit in the team in transition with the fact that we still made 5 changes coming into a game today?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you got to remember how long Ten Hag's actually been at the club. He still doesn't know what his best team is. I just like the fact that when a player makes a mistake, they don't play. Malacia made a mistake, whether Sancho dropped him in the shit with the pass that he gave him, they both didn't play. So they know at the moment that he's out here to win. He's not out here to make friends, and he's not out here to joke around. If you don't perform in a win, you get dropped, and if you're the worst performer in a loss, you might not see the light of day for a couple of games. But that's just how it's supposed to be at the moment. It's supposed to be dog eat dog out there. So yeah, delighted.
Yeah, I felt that way. Now, in fairness, there was a number of changes, but I felt a lot of the people who were brought in today, not that they haven't played before, stepped up and done very well with their performances. But before we get to the team selection, will we hit some of the comments?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, once again, guys, if you are watching, it's been a busy night of the agenda. We've done the watch along. Now we're doing a post-match review. So press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to say hi to Bobby K. He's showing out the big fist and the blue heart. I thought it was a Man City heart the other day, but I realised I was wrong. I'll take that back. Big up to Bobby. Big up to Matthew Bassett as well. Thanks for the $5 earlier. That will go into the fund, the Man United Agenda Fund, which...
Shall we tell the lads that we bought lighting and cameras today for today's show?
Yeah, there you go.
So it all went towards a good cause. So every little bit helps.
And we got a new camera as well, which is really clear and HD, very technical stuff. And big up to Pat for sort of putting it all together, to our tech man. Matthew Bassett saying big up to everyone in the chat. Bill Badger saying topographical survey time. Yay! Matthew Bassett again, good character shown by the team to come back from a goal down and get the win. Bill Badger saying I was nervous first half, but wary of certain Everton players. Second half, we can build on this where we're going to be a problem. We are going to be a problem, he's saying. Paddy saying, let's not get carried away. Voice of reason, Paddy. Big up, says Brush. How you doing, Brush? Hope you're well. Big G, Scavin says it was good that we came from behind and played well in parts. There was more movement around the pitch. He likes that.
Nice, Gavin.
Hello, Emma K. How you doing? Said Dallo's in need of a serious break. He's playing every game. I know Mr. B mentioned that. And big up to TalkMU. Great result. A very bitter performance. Casemiro showed his class at times, and having Rashford and Antony hanging back for the break worked well. Good analysis there of TalkMU.
So we're going to get into the team selection. And Paddy Silk, let us know who your and everybody else in the comments at the moment, right? Let us know who your most improved player was today and who was your standout player. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier on, there was 5 players coming in today that were different from the last selection. That was Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, Marcus Rashford, Casemiro, and Martial. And it was changed after 20 minutes, so it was nearly 6 players with Ronaldo coming in because it was a change. So my standout player today for the team selection, I don't know where to start because I have about 3 people in my mind at the moment. So I'm going to start at the back. David De Gea. I thought he was excellent today. Every single thing that he is probably being criticised for the last couple of games and the last couple of weeks from us as fans, I think he really improved on today. Yeah. What do you think, Omondi?
Yeah, I second that, man. I thought De Gea was good. Mainly his distribution you're talking about. His distribution was on point. We were really having a laugh every time he kicked the ball. It went to the man. And we were like, oh my God. And at first we were like, ha, 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 it went to the man. After a while, I was like, it's standard. It's going to the man. Well done, David De Gea. And he even came out and claimed the cross as well. Especially when at the end, when they were firing balls into our 6-yard box and he cleared one with his hand for a corner, which really would have gone in with Banana leaping like a sardine. So big up to David De Gea. I think you're on point there with that one, Pat.
Mr. B, out of the back 4, who's your standout? You can't start with Martinez because we all love that man. So I'm going to ask you, out of Dalot, Luke Shaw, and Victor Lindelof, who was the standout out of the 3 then for you?
Lindelof. I thought Lindelof.
And were you surprised?
Yeah, you're very surprised, but I don't know who was telling me that. I don't know if it was one of my friends. We had a conversation saying that he actually thinks Maguire's 4th choice, as in the defenders. And I laughed and said, no, but Lindelof today, he proved his worth. And this is all we could ask the players who come in for what we classify as our first team players to do. They have to come in and make that drop off as low as possible from the first team player that's coming out. And if he keeps doing that, he'll stay. If he doesn't, Ten Hag will ship him out.
A good comment to say in there was about Diogo Dalot not getting a break, and we'll come to that comment for the individual later on. Do you think we maybe pay Alex Telles at right back and give Dalot a break? Or was he going to on loan?
Alex Telles is out on loan, yeah.
So at the moment, with Eaton Laird, Tella's gone unknown. Who do we have? I can't think of anybody else.
Lindroff played at right back a couple times, did he, Mr. B?
Two ends Amy, but I think
he was crap.
Well, who, Lindroff at right back?
Yeah, he was crap at right back.
Okay.
Right, okay. So maybe we're a little bit stuck there at the moment. So just going back to the team selection, I thought Luke Shaw played very well today. I thought he done what he had to do well. I thought he stepped up.
Well, we said before the game, didn't we? We were talking about Luke Shaw, about Malacia. We all like Malacia. He's had a good introduction to the Premiership football. Tough games against some tough teams like Arsenal and City. And for Luke Shaw, he likes competition, doesn't he? When Tellez came in, he seemed to step up his game. And once again, he may be showing a bit of character by stepping up his game. He had a really good performance today. Done the right things, was getting up and down. A couple of driving runs as well, using his left foot, whipping in crosses. Intelligent play, good decision-making, passing it inside. Giving it to Ericsson, which is a wise thing to do. If you want to look good as a player, just pop it into Ericsson's feet. And, So Luke Shaw, you've got to give, when they're talking about the guy from Arsenal, Xhaka, for example, he's turned it around. He's got fans on side again. And I think the same applies to Luke Shaw. After today's performance, fans will be saying, yeah, we've got two good left backs there, and we'd be happy with either one coming in.
Yeah, so I think Martinez is okay, by the way. Okay, now I think we should move on to the midfield because we don't need to speak about Martinez because I think Martinez, he's excellent. And I'm so happy with him, and I couldn't be happier with the man. So before we go on to the midfield, should we hit one or two comments?
Yeah, so obviously Big G, Gavin, he's backing us up. He said, most improved, defo Luke Shaw. Paddy saying, excited by Antony and Casemiro. Oh, that's nice to hear. Good to hear. Anthony Herbert, Arsenal fan, said, I would say Ronaldo, good to see him playing and getting a goal. So that's his standout player. Bill Badger saying, Antony, big improvement. Lindroff standout. Bruno was everywhere and had a hand in the goal. Usually gets a lot of stick, Bruno, but yeah, that's good positives today. Hi, Emma Kay, how you doing? Welcome again. She's saying Maguire is definitely fourth choice. Lindroff never complains and just takes his chance when it's there. And finally, Big G saying, when he's back, we should give Wan-Bissaka a chance.
That's fair.
And Emma Kay, saying Martinez had Onana on toes.
A chance to do what?
To play.
Wan-Bissaka here. Yeah.
Give him a chance to do what? He's not good enough. You've seen, bruv, didn't you see the training videos he did in the summer of him running up the wing and trying to cross the ball in the park with his brethren? Nah, man, he's not levels. He's not levels. He's got to go. He's got to go. Get him out. Get him out.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But, for example, Mr. B, if he was fit now, you would give him a game against the likes of Omondi to give Dalot a rest, wouldn't you?
To embarrass himself.
Oh. You're bringing out your inner Paddy Silk now at the moment.
No, you know what? I'm just not. You know what? I'm not into this. If you're not good enough, if you're not good enough, get out. He's seen him. He hasn't been good enough. Think Wan-Bissaka could get injured doing nothing, driving to training and driving home. He don't want to play, so don't play him.
So I'd like to move on to the midfield now. So we had a change in what would normally be our standard double pivot, which would be Scott McTominay and Christian Eriksen. But today we had Casemiro and we had Christian Eriksen, which didn't look like our standard double pivot. It looked like a single pivot, and it looked like Eriksen was playing a little bit further forward. But when he was called into action, he was back there shoulder to shoulder with Casemiro. What did you make of that, man?
Yeah, very interesting that. I think all season we've seen the two guys in midfield at the block. That was Eriksen and McTominay. And now, this is maybe what the manager wanted all along. I've read his book, and he does like a sort of single pivot, a guy to bring the ball out, and two sort of players ahead of him. So today and on Thursday night, we saw Casemiro as the deepest midfielder, and ahead of him, Bruno and Eriksen as two maybe number 8s, and that was the kind of shape. But you say that, but Eriksen is so comfortable on the ball, so experienced. He can drop in, pick up the ball, and play sometimes deeper, or play in the block again with Casemiro. So you cannot define what we're seeing out here. I just think it depends on how we're playing, what we need to do to pick up the ball. But what we do get with Casemiro, he reads the game really well, can intercept, as we saw today, and he's got all those sort of attributes that make him a good number 6. With Eriksen playing as a single pivot against Brentford, we saw what happened there. Fred can't do that either. We saw what happens, gets munched. But Casemiro, even though he gave the ball away for the first goal, I think overall he showed us in general what his game's about. And we're starting to see more identity about Casemiro. So that's why him as a sort of deepest midfielder can work. And I think going forward, teams will try to sort of hit him, and he has to get used to the pace of the Premiership. But otherwise, I'm pleased with that because that allows Eriksen and Bruno to drift and get forward and get their foot on the ball higher up the pitch and create things, which we saw today and control the game. Mr. B, what do you reckon?
Yep, I'm taking Casemiro. You know me, as soon as we signed him, I thought we should have just played him and bin McTominay. But how I see it, Ten Hag gave McTominay time to get Casemiro fit. Now Casemiro is fit. McTominay is going to be doing the thread role, which is coming on in the last 7 minutes, ratting around the pitch and picking up yellow cards. If that's the job that he has from now until he leaves Man United, I will accept that all day.
That's a fair point. So I'd like to touch on the three lads who sat in front of Casemiro and Eriksen, and that would be Rashford, Bruno, and Antony. Now, I as per the commentator on, I think someone pointed out and he alluded to that Bruno was everywhere today, and I would totally agree with that. And I thought Rashford worked hard, but I think the standout man out of the three of them who worked that extra bit hard was the man Antony. I think he was excellent today, and he got stuck in. He was back when he was needed, and I think he was tracking back and getting. I think he's looking like he's grown into his position, grown into the team, and he's becoming that player that Erik ten Hag wants. So today, I think was possibly. I'd nearly go as far as say Antony's best game so far.
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, obviously he scored a goal, but what I do like about him is working well. Him and Dalot both being Portuguese, they're on the same page. They're working well together. A little link-up play down that right side. Antony, he sort of earns respect. You don't rush him because he will twist you up. That's for sure. He likes to square up defenders, and he can go either way. He can sort of do a little, rotate and pop the ball off simply, and that's enough. I think that's enough. If he does that intelligently enough, it's enough to sort of hurt teams and create space for others. And Dalot is enjoying it. I had a bit of criticism during the watch-along where they were saying Dalot's not really getting forward and exploiting that. But I think the relationship will improve. And Antony did do well today. I think what's really important is to get back in shape early. That's the thing. Where we've been exploited before is when we don't do the work early. Antony today was definitely getting back behind the ball, behind the man early. And that says do the work early, get out of the way. And then you can just stand there. They're not really going to drive at you. And a couple of times he was up against Gray towards the end when they wanted to whip balls in the box for their big men. And he had to stand up on him. And knew sort of once or twice he didn't do the job correctly. But he soon learned and made up for his little mistake earlier and sort of read the game a little bit better. So I like Antony's work. And as we were saying during the watch along, as Mr. B was saying as well, I like his attitude. There's something about his character and attitude that I like. He's a bit of a winner. He's crowd player as well. And that's something you can't buy. That sort of thing. When you be all the talent in the world, but you've got to have that winning mentality and the right attitude and right personality. And I think he's showing ticking all those boxes at the moment.
So, Mr. B, as everybody knows, me and you were on the Marcus Rashford fanboy list. Okay, how unfortunate was he for his goal today, and how long do you think we will quite possibly celebrate when the goal was already disallowed?
I still don't know why the goal was disallowed. So somebody's gonna have to tell me. Obviously, we watched the game with the volume down. So yeah, you're right. For about 4 minutes, we realised until Omondi said, "So yeah, you're right." Somebody needs to tell me why. Was it handball? Was it offside? I have no idea. Why. But the good thing is that would have been the third goal and not the second one. Because if it was the second one, we would have lost our shit.
Yeah, it was an excellent goal, and regardless of it being it was cancelled out, I was delighted for the way Marcus finished it, and that's all that matters to me. So we took it well, even though it was disqualified. So before we finish off with the two lads up front, do you want to hit some of the comments, Omondi?
Yeah, just a few comments here. We're going to go through. Emma's saying a lot. She's obviously said about Maguire, saying here about Martinez having Onana on toast. So Martinez, we all know he had a good game. And Paddy's saying here that's how bad quality is in the squad, bringing that sort of player. They're talking about, because the question about Xavier and Mengi, are they still around?
I think Emma Kay answered the question, and I believe she's correct, is that Xavier is injured currently at the moment.
Okay, there we go. So Gavin saying, I still want to see test Eriksen at number 10. at 10 for a match and drop Bruno. I know that's something that's been sort of going around, people talking about that. Anthony Herbert, Arsenal fan, how you doing, Andy? He says, well, lads, Klopp has come out and said Liverpool are not in the title race this season. Well, that's one down for us. MUFC saying he's buzzing for the win. He's also saying Mr. B got home already. Shocked by that, Mr. B.
I drive fast.
Emma K saying, Bill, that's good. But we don't know how long he will be out, and injuries have plagued him. Talking about Tunzebi. Bill Badger is saying, yeah, I know, Emma, but if he's fit, we can rest alone for at least one game. So that's the option there. Want to say hi to Stuart Marshall. How you doing, Stuart? He says, a must-win game tonight, but this game should have been put over by half-time. Then we were hanging on towards the end. Typical United. So having heart attacks like me and Mr. B. The first United player to score in the first 3 Premier League games. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's a good stat. And another stat was 700 goals from Ronaldo. We come on to that. Bill Badger said, this is my problem with Dalot. Antony hugs the touchline. Okay, here we go. Antony hugs the touchline and gives Dalot a chance to burst through on the inside. But Dalot doesn't do this. It's bloody infuriating for him. So that's something. I'm not so sure. I think the relationship will improve. Our Dutch correspondent Vincent's in the house. He said, great to see a glimpse of the Erik ten Hag football. It's getting there slowly but surely, as he said, as he predicted. And finally, Bill, Big G saying, Vincent in the house, where do you think United can improve on the Erik ten Hag ball? There you go.
So that was fair. So the last 2 people to finish off, which we would have liked to see more of, unfortunately, was Anthony Martial and Cristiano Ronaldo. So I felt, look, you all know how I feel. I'm on Team Martial at the moment. I just feel this man makes us tick. What do you think of his first and only 20 minutes of the game?
A really good contribution to the game. I think Martial, we've had some super sub business in the last couple of games where he's come on and scored goals against Man City at Brace, came on against Onana. Not Onana, that's the Everton midfielder. Omondi. Sorry, I get confused, guys. It's been a long day. But he came on in the Europa League the other day and also done well. And I think this is what he's saying. So what has he got that makes the difference? I think he comes deep, he gets the ball, he's intelligent, he plays with his back to goal, pops it off, draws out defenders, gets in behind, he's intelligent. Look at the through pass to Antony today. That was really neat. He got the ball at his feet, looked up and just played it. A nice waiting pass into Antony, and then he scored. So Martial definitely does bits in that position. He seemed to be revitalised, and I like that. He's coming into his prime. We've had him for a long time now, and it looks like some players develop at different times. Hopefully he's learning now from all the sort of highs and lows that he's had over the years. Hopefully fans want him on side now, and they need him. He's got a season less on his contract, and I think he's someone really looking quite important for us at this stage. So I like Martial, and I'm really pleased with him. But obviously Ronaldo came on. Ronaldo, I don't know how long he's going to be at the club, but he got that 700 goal, as they call it, and I'm really pleased about that. He took that really well, and the work rate was good, and some of the things he'd done, pinching the ball and little intelligent runs, was decent as well. So I'm pleased with those 2.
So Mr. B, what did you think of our man CR700 today?
I'm glad he got his 700. He needed the goal. Him and Antony's double celebration obviously had us giggling a bit in there as well. I just think that he needed that goal off his back, and he probably needs Martial not to be available to play to prove to Ten Hag what he can do in the team, because we've seen it again. If Martial's fit, Martial plays. Yeah. I have absolutely no problem with Martial playing. I'll be honest. I love Martial to bits. But if Ronaldo is gonna show Ten Hag, even if it's up until January, what he can do for the club, he needs Martial not to be fit. He needs Martial to be injured. So I think it's a double-edged sword at the moment, because Ronaldo doesn't want to be playing the Europa. But it might be a thing where if Martial's injured, he's going to have to play both, because Sancho at the moment isn't doing anything to warrant starting.
Yeah.
So Martial, he's my guy. I'll be honest, he's my guy. I'm absolutely delighted that he's back in business. But Ronaldo is an assassin in front of goal if he has the opportunity. Once he was running through today, I didn't even contemplate that short arms Tyrannosaurus Rex was going to get hold of the ball. I knew he wasn't. I knew it was going to be in the bottom corner. So yeah, big up Cristiano Ronaldo for taking his chance. And it right now is competition. Competition is what we want. Competition is what we've got. So yeah, fair play to it.
You're dead right, Mr. B. And anything to do with competition is healthy for this squad. So I was really impressed by that goal today. CR7's goal. It was a little bit like turning back the clock and watching him burst and shoot and scoring that goal. So I was absolutely delighted. And long may it last. And maybe take a little bit of the weight off his shoulders because he looks like he's been carrying it for the last couple of games. So before we get into the next game, Omondi, do you want to hit the last couple of comments?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously Casemiro here from Mark Edmonds said Casemiro's passing gave us a lot. His position was excellent. Emma K is saying you could tell Martial was a bit peed off having to go off injured again. Again, that's the key. Paddy saying I'm not in Team Martial at all. I think he's been at the club long enough. He is average. He would get in though. I don't know.
It's been a long. He's average. Would he get?
He wouldn't get into City. I think he's going to say, yeah. Would he get into City under Pep? And that's a no. He feels. MEFC saying Antony was a fan in Brazil. He loves United, and he's a fantastic young player who will become a vital asset for the team.
Great.
Mr. B is teleported back home, says HG Gamer. Mark Edmonds saying, hey, Emma, yes, Martial needs to be eased back off the bench to protect his body.
Correct.
And finally, HG Gamer saying Shaw and Ericsson were good, but Shaw was better today. So, yeah, let's go.
So, I have to say, we sat here after the 90 minutes was up and we had a discussion between the three of us and we couldn't actually pick out who was our man of the match.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were all kind of unsure of who to pick. We were kind of saying, "Oh, does Casemiro deserve it?" Even though he gave the goal away, and he ended up getting it. So I'm gonna stick with Casemiro.
Yeah, Casemiro done well. For me, he's not the man of the match. I think what makes them to be the man of the match officially, you have to be that important and make your team tick. And for me, it's Ericsson. I'm going to give a shout out to Martinez as well. It's like a good spine throughout the team. But Ericsson really makes us tick. I know physically he can get a bit bullied a couple of times. When he's on the ball, when he's ticking over, he makes us control games, which is something we wanted to do. We got possession in their half. We can slow it down to his pace. It just eases up everything. And people can't rush him because he's so good. Left foot, right foot, he just does it all. And even if he slows it up and goes backwards and recycles again, it's just all quality because we give it to his feet. And he would pass the ball around the park, give it to his team. He's a team player, and I love him so much. And like I said in the Watchalong, reminds you of Paul Scholes because when Paul Scholes got on the ball, things start to happen. The same applies to Ericsson as well. I think all the players love playing with him.
Mr. B, I was kind of hoping that Anthony Martial will stay on the pitch, and I was going to give him my man of the match, but unfortunately, he was carted off after 20 minutes. Who was your man of the match?
I am going to give it to Casemiro. But why it's not Ericsson? Ericsson is Prem proven. And I'm now expecting that from him. The fact that Casemiro came in and I believe we were able to change the way we played because the team trust him as the single pivot, it meant that Ericsson was able to play further up the pitch. His passing range, I saw an interview with Richarlison where he described his perfect footballer, and he was talking about brains and skill and stuff. But he said the vision of Casemiro, he said his passing is underrated. He said people don't realize how good he is at passing. So we've now got, to me, maybe not quite that level, but we've now got a deeper Ericsson who can still find those. The pass he picked up today for Ronaldo's goal, stole the ball back, bang, straight away. Ronaldo already knew, maybe from the Real Madrid days, what was coming. Casemiro knew where the run was, bang, it's in. So for me, it's Casemiro because it's the game where he was up against Onana, who is physical, who didn't give him any breathing space in the game, and he still dominated him. So I'm going to give it to Casemiro. It could have gone to Ericsson, which, fair enough, it could have gone to Martinez, but I think slowly but surely now, Scott McTominay is going to be feeling, oh shit, I'm done out there.
So I totally agree with you. And another point I'd like to make on top of that, we have another crazy Eriksen standing behind Casemiro who can pass the ball as well, and that's Mr. Martinez.
Woo!
So we have balls being sprayed out, and now after today, David De Gea even showed a likeliness of passing the ball out as well. So it's all positive. So before we move on to the next game, Omondi, did you want to hit the comments?
Yeah, for sure. So there's a few comments about the handball. We haven't really touched on that yet, but Mark Edmund saying Shaw was canny, pulling on players and bumping them in set pieces. Well played. He was trying to take off the man's shirt, wasn't he? I think he called it. What do you call it? We put up his.
Oh no!
Yeah. What was it, Mr. B? When he put up
in order to call you, dropped him.
Yeah. I want to say hi to one of my favourites, is Super Nick. How you doing, Super Nick? She says, happy faces, good vibes, and the result. Hello, everyone. How you doing, girl? I'm glad you're happy too, because we can put some music on. H Game is saying, Rashford goal makes me a bit angry. That's where it all started. The comments went off here. Casemiro wasn't a fault for the goal. It's a hospital pass from Antony, says Mark Edmund. That's an interesting one. Casemiro, man of the match for me, says Mark Edmund. Bill Badger saying, I always thought handball was hand to ball, not to ping off defender's hand and hit your hand.
Oh, is that what they were doing? Okay.
Fifth in the table, says MUFC. Ericsson faded, said Mark Edmund. Aaron McKay is saying, I don't think it was handball. I just didn't see it. I didn't see it hit his hand, she's saying. Bill Badger said, yeah, I did, Emma. I didn't see it hit his hand. I agree with Emma, says Super Nick. So there's a lot of thing about it. Bill Badger is saying he had to watch 6 replays and you see it from the front angle that it hit his hand.
Did it change it? It must have changed the direction of the ball for it to give a handball as well, where it wasn't just a bounce up and hit him.
I thought it bounced up and hit him on his chest. He was running at pace. It's not like his hand stopped the ball going off. It was, I don't know. I wouldn't have given it.
We were too busy fanboys jumping around.
Hear this one. HG Game is saying Casemiro had 59 passes completed today, probably more than McTominay and Fred combined. Bill Badger is saying clip the hands, chin, but it wasn't a handball for me, even if the boot was on the other foot. So not being biased, he's saying here. Super Nick saying, I think we needed a ref in the Hammers match. And Bill, I mean, doesn't that matter now, says Paddy. David De Gea, man of the match for me, says MUFC. First one to say that. That's a good shout. Mark Edmonds saying Casemiro passes with more oomph on it. His passing is slick. And the comments are flying in, so we just a couple more. Bill Badger saying, "What's it? 8 years he's nearly been, and Shaw's had 6 good months. So Shaw's been at the club 8 years, and he's had 6 good months." Said Bill Badger. That's another argument. So there you go. Let's move on.
Okay, so before we wrap it up, we're going to get to the last one for tonight, which is the next game. So the next game is against Omondi on Thursday at 8 o'clock. So we're playing at home. And then we're going to be playing Newcastle on Sunday at 2 p.m. So we had 5 changes tonight. So we kind of touched on it earlier on who the starting lineup may be against Omondi. Mr. B made a fair point in saying that Erik ten Hag, regardless of the game, he's not going to make too many changes. So who do you think will make their way into the team against Omondi without making too many changes from the team tonight?
Well, I've got a feeling Dalot's going to play again because, like we said, there's a bit of a problem here at the moment. Who plays in that position? He did try Lindelof there, but Mr. B said he didn't play too well in that position. I can't remember, but yes, we got an issue there. We don't have a real genuine backup right back like we do with Luke Shaw and Malacia. I like what we're doing at the moment. We've got good replacements coming in, and people are standing up and representing, as we saw today. So against Ammonia, I was going to say Onana. But against Ammonia, I think we can make those changes. I think we've seen what they've got now on a bigger pitch with more comfort. When we've got more sort of knowledge on them, I think we can afford. I know I don't want to tempt fate, but I think we can afford to make some changes and bring in a few other players. So players who haven't been playing, maybe could get a bit of game time without making it too risky. So the big one is Newcastle. They had a good performance yesterday. Newcastle banged a lot of goals, and they're on form. I have to give them a lot of credit. You look at their side man for man. Good players, but you just think it's the team spirit they've got, their home form, and a good manager, English manager. So they're going to be a threat. This is a big game for Newcastle, so that's going to be interesting. I think we have to sort of save our players, rest players for that game. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Martial, please get fit.
Mr. B, with Casemiro starting to come into some good form and starting to get that bit of sharpness and match fitness, Do you think he'll get a run out against Omondi and Newcastle, or do you think we might get a glimpse of McFred?
No,
Or...
no, he's not doing that. McFred was on the pitch for how long on the last game that we played? 6 minutes together, and we conceded, and we looked a mess. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. He's seen the damage that's gone, and if there's people at the club who haven't told him how shit they are, they should be. So no, he's not stupid enough to play them in a game that we need to win or want to win. It's going to be somebody. It's going to be one plus the other. And that's just going to be whether it's going to be. No, he's not playing both of them. He's not playing both of them together. It's a game we need to win. Casemiro. The thing is, I think Eriksen is the one who needs to not play on Thursday. Out of our midfielders, I think they're just going to run this guy. I know he's got a battery in his belly, but he can't do that. He can't do that. So I feel that he's probably the one who needs to be there. So maybe it's going to be Fred and Casemiro for a bit, and then oh Lord, maybe we'll be 6-0 up, and he'll take the chance of playing a bomber hole together. But we will just have to see, man. We will just have to see.
Okay, so guys, let me know in the comments what you think and who may start and who may not. Myself, I would agree with the lads. I think Malacia and Varane may get a start. I think that will be the most changes you might see to the back four. I think Casemiro might get a start, and Fred may get introduced, and then you may see Casemiro get dropped off in the second half for Scott to give him a rest for the Newcastle game the weekend. There's no reason why Rashford shouldn't play both games, but Cristiano is a definite dead cert for the Omondi game. Will, you're a footballing man. Mr. B, you're a footballing man. What looked like a hip injury with Martial, is that a good thing, a bad thing? Is it a couple of weeks?
He's out.
He's out.
He's out.
No, it's not good. It's not good at all, is it? Just because he excites us all, doesn't he? He makes us tick.
Yeah, but his replacement's not a bad one.
He's not too bad, is he?
You know what I mean? Let's not get this twisted now. We look at Martial and think he's the complete. Ronaldo is the one. He's just old, and he has to accept that he's old. In his mind, he can still do the things that he did. You know, we can all imagine what we were doing 20 years ago and think that we're still that guy or that girl. But it doesn't happen like that. The mind is young, but the body's not willing. If he accepts that, if he just accepts that, then he will be fine. It's whether or not he starts, because there's always you see it every day. There's Ronaldo's got an issue with Ten Hag's training sessions. He didn't look too happy scoring his 700 goal today. You know what I mean? There's always a story. There's always a story, and the fact that there don't seem to be any dressing room leaks because Maguire's on holiday, I think it screams peace and harmony there. So I don't think there's an issue. There's always jealousy. There's always a little bit of envy. But if you're jealous of Ronaldo, it's for a reason. It's not because he's some hurry come up. He is the pinnacle. So yeah, be jealous of him, but strive to be like him. Simple.
Yeah. So before we wrap it up, do you want to hit a few more comments, Omondi, before we call it a day?
Yeah, we're going to wind it up now, guys. So a couple of comments here. Mark Evans saying Fred doesn't control the ball well enough for Eric Ten Hag, 10-inch. Tasha Gamer said, I think maybe Sancho and Fred and Malacia may play midweek. Sancho again, Mark Evans. Sancho is better suited to European competition, first off.
Fair point.
Paddy saying, I think he will bring back Varane for the next few weeks. He's made of glass, though. He does get injured a lot.
Yeah.
Tomley's going to be out because too many yellows to play against the Newcastle. So maybe he plays midweek because he might not be available against Newcastle. Super Nick saying Antonio was more obvious, but he still got the goal. Lack of consistency needed. Antonio or Antony? Antony, maybe. Tony missing the next game because he misses a yellow card. And finally, Bill Badger is saying we don't need to go to a 4-2-3-1. Stick with the single CDM in case we play Fred and Eriksen in front. I would start with Garnacho as well, and I think he'd be fine in the Europa. Sorry, a couple more here. Super Nick saying I was referring to Mikel Antonio handling the ball earlier. I didn't see the game, West Ham. But yes, our Antony has hit the ground running and wants to improve even more.
Yeah.
And finally, Emma saying to Big G, that's Gavin, when we are more stable, can't just chuck him in like that. So yeah.
Tom Buccanaccio and the lads,
yeah,
I'd imagine.
for sure.
All right, lads. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Mr. B, before we hit the road?
Nah, man, I'm ready to hit the road, Jack. It's been a long day, boy. Long day.
It's been a day full of football for Mr. B. I mean, ourselves as well. We got up this morning, done our Sunday football business, 2-1. I know, Mr. B, you had Sunday football, didn't you?
Yeah, my little man played. They lost 4-3 in the game that day. No, listen, it's good. He needs to learn to lose so he can appreciate the wins when they come. You know what I mean? So it's all building, man. It's all building.
No, it's been a great weekend. I mean, to finish off like that with a win, we're all happy. And to have Pat over all the way from Ireland. Yeah, big up Pat. He travelled all the way over to do this watch along, watch the game together. We had a really good time. And spent the last night together, Saturday night. Today we went football. We've been to the pub. He's met all my football team as well. I really like this guy. And I know how that sounded, but yeah. I'm staying with him at home. Yeah, big up, guys. Mr. B, we stop that with your bad mind. Can I sign up, please? Before this gets too embarrassing. Yeah? All right. Guys, we're signing out. God bless you, and thanks again. And make sure you like and subscribe later.